Hey, Walt here from WaltandPA.com as well as StogieReview.com with another Shooting the Breeze video. And this time around I wasn't even planning on doing a video. However, as I typed up the article that you'll see up there if you're on my personal blog, the word count got to around 700 words. And if doing these videos over the past several years has taught me anything, it's that people are more likely to click play and watch a 10-15 minute video. They're more likely to do that than to read all that stuff up there. So I thought I would just kind of give a little digest of what's up there and maybe expand on it a little bit. But basically, I am one step closer to getting involved in action shooting. And if you remember back in the Smith & Wesson M&P video I did, I had mentioned that I bought that gun specifically for range use in hopes that I would get involved in some sort of action shooting sport, whether it be IDPA or USPSA or just fun shoots. And I never did get around to doing it because of the rising cost of ammo and having a daughter and having limited time. But when the weather broke and it started getting warmer again, every year when it gets warmer I get right back into the gun hobby and sort of really get engrossed in it, because my guns are usually packed up all winter long just because I belong to outdoor ranges. And you know, with getting back into the gun culture or hobby, my interest in the shooting sports is renewed. And you know, I was kind of looking around at what my options were, and you know, this time it was, you know, I want to put more effort into doing this. I know I said that before, that I wanted to get into action shooting, but I never took that first step. And so this video is sort of outlining, you know, what I did. And a while ago, like last year, I was looking at getting into some sort of action sport, and I was also toying around with the idea of doing either trap or sporting clays, and I was leaning more towards trap because there was a club in the area that did trap. And I didn't have a shotgun, but there was one that I could borrow from my father. And you know, I was really interested. I wound up joining a range that did trap. Unfortunately, it got cold and the weather turned kind of nasty and it was really icy, and that kind of was put on the back burner and I forgot about it. But recently, it's getting warmer. I'm more interested in doing the shooting sports again. And I decided, well, you know, this year I'm going to see if I can find someone to sort of walk me through it. I've asked all my gun buddies, and you know, they don't have much interest in it. You know, they're a bit intimidated like I am, or they just have no interest in doing this at all, because there is a cost involved in shooting that much, shooting that much at a match. So it's completely understandable why some of my friends didn't want to get involved. But you know, I looked at it, and you know, I think I can afford the hobby, and if not, well, you know, I'll just shoot recreationally, and you know, I'll do it once a month, and that's completely fine by me. So for that first step, I decided to head on over to one of the local, or the state-oriented firearm forums that I belong to. And I posted in the local Berks County section, just sort of outlining what I was interested in and in the clubs that I belong to, and what my plans were. And I asked if anyone was willing to show me the ropes and help me, you know, find some matches, because I was only aware of one club in the general area that held these matches. And I got some great feedback. One of the guys outlined like 4 clubs in the area that did some sort of shooting, these action shoots, and it sort of opened my eyes to what's around. You know, nothing is really close. I mean, the closest range is about 25 minutes away, and that was the one I was aware of going into this. There are some other ones that range from 45 minutes to just over an hour, so nothing really close, but certainly doable. And in that thread, I asked if anyone was interested in showing me the ropes, and I had one guy that said, yeah, sure, you know, we can get together and I'll help you walk through this kind of stuff, and you know, give you a general idea what to expect at the matches so you're not so intimidated. So I took him up on the offer, and we were supposed to meet on Thursday, but it turns out that he was going to do clay shooting on Tuesday, which was last night. And he said, you know, I'm going to be at the range if you want to stop down, you know, we can talk and we'll go from there. So I decided to run down because one, I wanted to meet up with Sean and talk about shooting, and two, because one of the officers of the club that are involved in doing membership signups and stuff were going to be at this, or was going to be at this event. So I went down there. I talked to him a little bit. I got signed up for the club. Dues were $20 a year, and there was no initiation fee. And the club's like 15 minutes away, so I thought, why not? It's $20 a year. I'll certainly get my money back by going and taking advantage of the club. It's so close. So I joined, and I helped clean up the sporting clays equipment, and we were kind of talking as I was doing that. And then from there we moved on over to the pistol range, which was occupied up until everything was all cleaned up. And then we started walking through all of the things that I would see at a typical match. And you know, I learned a lot by watching YouTube videos and seeing how these matches operate. But you know, I wasn't quite sure, you know, the finer points of how it works, because you hear the buzzer go off and then you see the guy running around shooting, and then the video ends. So you've got a lot of information to try to digest from a short clip. And Sean was able to provide me with more information and walk me through, you know, some of the things that I would see, you know, range commands. We did some actual shooting. And there were some things that I found very awkward, like switching from strong hand to weak hand and firing, you know, X number of shots, transferring back over to strong hand again. So moving the gun from one hand to the other and shooting one-handed was awkward. And I never really did any weak hand shooting, so I was really bad at it, and it felt really weird. I got a lot of muzzle rise out of the gun for those, you know, half dozen shots at a time, and you know, it was really awkward. Another thing that I found really awkward was shooting on the move, because you know, instinctively I want to take a step, stop, pull the trigger, take a step, stop, press the trigger, you know, and sort of shoot at the bottom of every step, and sort of stay still, stationary, while I pull the trigger. And that's not how these matches work. You need to shoot as you're moving. And the awkward thing was seeing the front sight post move up and down. So, you know, that was a bit awkward. And, you know, we just went over a lot of things that I would see at the match, and it was tremendously insightful. You know, I learned a lot from that little informal session that we had. And Sean even pointed out something unsafe that I was doing that I wasn't even aware of. Apparently, when I would load the magazine or just clear the gun, I have a tendency to cock my wrist down and operate the slide, and my muzzle was pointing way up over the berm. And he pointed that out to me. I didn't even realize I was doing it. I must have been doing it for, you know, quite some time to develop a habit. But definitely need to break that habit. But you know, in general, I had a great time, and Sean was awesome. He showed me a lot of different things that I need to practice and work on, and I'm really looking forward to getting out to one of these matches. I still want to go and watch one, even though he says I should just go and shoot. But I want to get down to one and sort of watch and see the flow and see how it works, so that I'm not completely going into it, not necessarily blind, but you know, I want to see everything in real time, moving quickly, and sort of ease my way into it. So I may be going down to a match next week just to watch, and you know, I'll take my stuff. If they twist my arm and get me to shoot, then, you know, better yet. But you know, I'm really looking forward to it. And I also learned that Sean is planning some local matches at this club. They're more fun shoots, but he's going to be doing carbine rifle matches, and maybe some two-gun stuff with a rifle and a sidearm. So, you know, I'm really interested in trying this stuff out. And while I was there, the guy that was doing the membership sign up for me offered to show me everything I need to know about clay shooting. So I'm going to take him up on that offer. I'm going to borrow my father's shotgun. I'm going to get down there and give it a try. And I'm really excited about that, because they're really close. They do the matches every week, and clay shooting is pretty inexpensive. I think it's like $10 for a round of sporting clays, and, you know, whatever you're shooting. So you know, it's much cheaper than paying for a, you know, an IDPA or USPSA match plus, you know, 100 plus rounds of 9mm. So, you know, I'm really looking forward to it. Really appreciate Sean helping me out. And stay tuned for future videos, and maybe I'll actually have some shooting footage or something from the matches. So until next time, happy smoking, even though I didn't do much cigar smoking this time around. Happy shooting, and I will catch you later.